I'm Ethan, and this is the hot team from Milford, and you're watching RoboZone.
RoboZone is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. Toyota, let's go places. Fanuc, innovative automotive solutions. Hungry Howie's, your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. And Hino Trucks, the fastest growing premier medium duty nameplate in the United States. Hi, and let me be the first to welcome you to a show unlike any other. This is the inaugural episode of RoboZone. We are presented by the fantastic men and women that make learning fascinating. Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. RoboZone is your all-access pass to everything happening in and around Michigan high school robotics. We'll be here for the next 8 weeks, and you will be plugged in. Competition started this weekend, and beginning next week, we'll have highlights from every competition all season long. Stephanie Funkhauser and our resident expert and current coach, Jim Zondag, will be along a little later to recap the 2014 season, and Jim will give you his preseason rankings for this season. We're going to check out the official 2015 unveil video and so much more. How about we start with a crash course in what First Michigan is all about? We bring in the 4th member of our team, Kiera Lancaster.
Robotics in the state of Michigan continues to grow at a rapid pace. Not only do we have the most robotic teams in the nation, but we've taken home the most world championships. I had the chance to sit down with First in Michigan President Gail Alpert, so let's check it out.
FRC stands for First Robotics Competition. It's the flagship event, or program I should say, for First.
FIRST is a volunteer-based nonprofit organization that stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. The organization was founded in 1989 and has over 2,000 teams nationally and over 100 competitions annually.
The wildest football game that you've ever been to is what a First Robotics competition looks like. You have mascots, you have blazing music, you have cheering, you have everything going on. It's like a wild sporting event. That's how you think of it when you're sitting there. You cannot believe how much fun it is and how much energy is in the room.
With the help of a $3 million grant from Governor Snyder 2 years ago, Michigan is now the leader and example when it comes to the sport of robotics. Most of the students who become a member of a FIRST team have an interest in going into the field of engineering, but that's not always the case. Regardless, many will say that it is one of the best decisions they have ever made.
Personally, I'm looking to go into physical therapy, but there are things that I have learned in FIRST, such as professional skills, speaking to sponsors, things that I never would have learned otherwise.
For me, going into engineering, it's enabled me to do many things ahead of time that a lot of colleagues that I work with say that they didn't get to work with until their junior year in college. And also First Robotics itself is also a really good tool for students to go forth into engineering, to pursue their careers and figure out what they like and don't like in STEM.
One of the fabulous benefits of being on a FIRST team is that there are $20 million in dedicated FIRST scholarships that are available to any senior on any FIRST Robotics team. You don't have to win, you don't have to be one of the top teams in the state, you just have to be on a team. And that's because the universities want the kids, just like the corporations want these kids. They are miles ahead. So I think what's so exciting about what's happening with First Robotics in Michigan is it is becoming mainstream. It used to be that the nerdy kids were separate from everybody else, but now everybody is one, and we have all kinds of kids on teams. Kids that were predisposed to go into science and technology careers, kids that are great at working at cars in a garage and are not so great at school. This is bringing everybody into the mix, and it's a great chance that students have to apply the stuff that they're learning in the classroom, which maybe wasn't so relevant to them. Now it's relevant.
For RoboZone, I'm Kiera Lancaster.
Every week here on RoboZone, we are going to bring to you what the university life is like. No better for a robotics fan than what's happening at Lawrence Technological University. Check out the opportunities they offer in robotics education. world of robotics is only getting started at the high school level. For students interested in pursuing a robotics future, many colleges offer hands-on robotics and engineering programs. One of those schools is right in Metro Detroit's backyard. Lawrence Technological University has developed a program unlike any other in the United States.
When we started the robotics program, it was only the second in the nation and the first in Michigan. And there was a lot of interest in robotics from middle school, high school students, but there was this gap between high school and graduate studies. When students come to the robotics program, they're actually not only taking all the theory in the classes, but everything they do, they get to implement hands-on.
In fact, the robotics engineering program is attracting students worldwide.
I have people that are applying from Sudan or Morocco. I have people applying from Czech Republic and Poland, and we don't really advertise there, but they find you, and because students are interested in robotics.
The robotics and engineering program is actually the fastest moving program at Lawrence Tech. The reason behind that? Robotics is suddenly booming all around us.
The robotics industry is growing at an amazing pace. Even when there was an economic downturn, the industry was still growing. So on average, it's growing at 25% a year, which is amazing for an industry.
Robotics at LTU puts students in the driver's seat and allows them to start designing and building programs from scratch.
So students start off by taking the basics, the math, physics classes, and some basic engineering and computer science classes. But then when they get into the robotics specific classes, there's a series called Unified Robotics. And what's really special about that, it's team taught. We have 3 or 2 different professors from different departments teaching the class. But the best part about it is right after class, you go into the lab. And everything you learn in that session, you start implementing immediately.
To learn more about robotics and all of the amazing programs offered at Lawrence Technological University, please visit ltu.edu and schedule a tour today. Coming up next on RoboZone, we look back at the 2014 high school robotics season and how it all went down. Then we get an inside look into the 2015 game. It's all next right here on your home for Michigan High School Robotics.
We want you.
We are Lawrence Technological University, and we don't want just anyone.
We want the brainiacs, visionaries, geniuses, and game changers. We want the students who will change the world through technology, science, business, and design.
So if you're ready to explore your possibilities,
We want you at LTU.
Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
You may not know us, but you know the things we do.
We build landmarks,
buildings,
highways,
bridges, and pipelines.
We build rewarding careers.
We operate.
We maintain.
For over 100 years, we've kept Michigan running.
And we'll keep it running.
We're Operating Engineers 324.
And we're proud of being part of something special.
Join us.
Fundraising should be fresh, flavorful, and simple. We have the perfect solution at Hungry Howie's, Dough Raiser. Your nonprofit organization can sell paper pizza certificates that your customers can redeem for 1 medium pizza at participating Hungry Howie's locations. Go to doughraiser.com to learn about, sign up for, and order everything Dough Raiser. Request a Dough Raiser kit for your group today. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. Welcome to Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser.
Welcome back to RoboZone. The 2014 season was an extra exciting one for robotics here in Michigan. I'm here with Jim Zondag. Jim, talk about some of the highlights from this past year.
In 2014, Michigan had 277 FRC teams, making us #1 in the entire nation. We surpassed California for the first time ever, thanks in large part to the support from Governor Rick Snyder's office. Michigan had a record 15 total district competitions last year, all over the state. The Upper Peninsula even got in on the action for the first time. 64 teams advanced to the state championship, which was held at Eastern Michigan University. The 2014 state finals were the most competitive regular season FRC event ever held. The top 24 teams advanced to the playoffs. After 3 rounds of heated playoff battles, the number 3 alliance, made up of Team Rush, the Killer Bees, and the Megatron Oracles, came out on top with a great combo of teamwork and defense. The top 5 finishing teams of 2014 were as follows. In 5th place, Team 2337, the Engineers from Grand Blanc. In 4th, Team 1718, the Fighting Pie from Armada. In 3rd place, the Hot Team from Huron Valley Schools. In 2nd place, Team Rush from Clarkston. And in the number 1 position, the Killer Bees from Auburn Hills. At the World Championship, just 2 weeks later, Michigan teams rose once again to the occasion. Team Rush and the Killer Bees paired up to take 2nd place in the Archimedes division. The Fighting Pie were finalists in the Curry division. The Hot Team were winners of the Galileo division, and Team 469, the Las Gorillas from Bloomfield Hills, along with Team 74, Chaos from Holland, Michigan, teamed up to win the 2014 FRC World Championship. Once again, Michigan was back on top with another world title. The cherry on top, Team Rush was inducted into the First Hall of Fame. They are the 3rd Michigan team in FIRST history to earn this highest honor.
2014 was a great season for competitive robotics here in Michigan, and I think 2015 is going to be even better.
Thanks, Jim. Well, the 2015 game is now public. Let's find out what it is.
Welcome to the 2015 FIRST Robotics Competition. Here's how we play Recycle Rush. The objective is to build stacks of totes, place recycling bins on top, and recycle litter.
The game is played by 2 alliances of 3 teams each on a 27 by 54 foot field, divided into red and blue sides by a step. There are human player stations in the corners. Each side has a landfill zone, an auto zone, and 2 scoring platforms. Alliances stay on their own side of the field throughout the 2.5-minute match, though there will be some interaction near the step.
The field and alliance stations are stocked with 3 types of game pieces: totes, recycling containers, and pool noodles, which we call litter.
Yellow totes have some reflective tape, which makes robot vision tracking easier. Robots start anywhere on their side of the field, but not in the landfill zone or auto zone. During the 15-second autonomous period at the start of each match, robots use pre-programmed instructions to try to move themselves, yellow totes, and recycling containers into the auto zone. Bonus points are awarded for stacking the yellow totes. Additionally, robots may begin acquiring gray totes and recycling containers from the landfill or step. As the teleoperated period starts, drivers step forward to take the controls. Alliances earn points by stacking totes on their platforms. Each gray tote is worth 2 points. Teams may obtain gray totes from either the landfill, the step, or from a human player via the tote chute. Recycling containers placed on top of scored totes are worth 4 points per level. Robots may obtain litter from the human players via the litter chute. Litter in a scored recycling container is worth 6 points. Litter in the landfill is worth 1 point. Alliances may attempt to throw their litter onto the opposing alliance's side of the field until there are 20 seconds left in the match. Litter, marked with the opposing alliance color and not in scoring position on the field at the end of the match, is considered unprocessed litter, and each piece will add 4 points to the score of the opposing alliance. Alliances may work together to earn a 20-point cooperation bonus by placing 4 yellow totes on the step. Stacking these 4 totes earns an additional 20-point bonus for each alliance. To rank well during qualification matches and advance through the playoff matches to the finals, teams will want to maximize their score for each match. Simply outscoring the opposing alliance on individual matches does not guarantee improved rank. Information displayed after each match will show how the team's performance affected their average score and current rank for the tournament. Of course, robots will need to be built robustly to avoid damage from falling game pieces.
Have fun with Recycle Rush and good luck!
Hi RoboZone fans, I'm Kiera Lancaster here at the Chrysler Technology Center where we're with the 2-time state champions, Killer Bees, as they get ready for competition. Today is the last day they have to submit their robots, so let's see how they're doing. The Killer Bees are one of Michigan's original robotic teams and will soon be entering their 20th competition season. With over 30 titles under their belt, it's needless to say they're feeling confident about taking home another win.
Going into competition, I think we have a very high likelihood of being able to at least seed first or possibly within the top 5 and possibly win if we have the right alliance partners.
And here's the robot they're hoping will bring them home the victory.
This is Buzz 20. It is designed to play the 2015 game Recycle Rush.
Recycle Rush is the name of the competition. Each year, the FRC gives a task for the robot to complete, and this year the robot has to stack recycling bins and dispose of litter, which will be represented by pool noodles.
We designed it to be able to pick up 6 boxes and put a tote on top of the stack, and then score it all at once. So the first thing we have is this bin collector right up here. It's our clamp. These 2 arms will come in and crush the garbage can, and then it will never move. We have what we call our tusks, which are pointy and they spin inward against each other, so that when a box comes and hits it, it automatically centers it into the robot. Once we have one, we go next and we get the second one, and it will repeat the sequence over and over and over again.
The Killer Bees, along with other first teams, have just 45 days to complete their robot. So how long does it take to put something like this together?
A lot of hours. So we usually stay in the cave from sometimes 8 a.m. to midnight on Saturdays to get these things done.
It takes us about 2 weeks to get like a general design, and then to actually design it takes us about like 4 weeks.
There are size limits on how big they can be. They're limited to be 78 inches tall. They can't be more than 42 inches long when they start, and they have to weigh 120 pounds, which is one of the hardest objectives.
The Killer Bee team is made up of about 42 students, and each member plays a critical part in the completion of the robot.
We have different roles, so I'm driver, we have an operator which also drives with me, we have a human player which handles like putting totes on the field for our robot, we have pit crew which is sort of like NASCAR, so they actually like after every match that we play, the robot goes back to the pit crew for any maintenance and things that have to be changed. We also have scouting, which they stay in the stands and they watch matches for us so that we know what our competition is like throughout the whole entire day.
Robotics teams operate just like traditional sports teams.
They always say that first is like the varsity sport of the mind, and I'd say it kind of is. You still have that excitement of a competitive sport. I came from running track and running cross country, playing softball, to doing this, and you still get that like thrill of the competition, but you're still learning well, which is I think a great combination.
Well, usually in sports you combine as a team and you play together and you face other teams from other high schools. So in robotics it's basically the same way. You build a machine and you compete, with other machines to see who wins.
So like any other athletic team, the Killer Bees are in it to win it. With RoboZone, I'm Kiera Lancaster.
Thanks for sticking with us here on RoboZone. When we come back, we take a look at the governor's State of the State address and how he views robotics in the state of Michigan. Then we'll talk Jim's high school preseason rankings. Don't go anywhere.
Online ordering is so fast and easy with Hungry Howie's. You can do it from any device.
Any device? Like this fax machine?
No.
What about this 19th century cell phone? 2 cans on a string. Your mom's car phone. Megaphone! Dash, pizza. Pineapple and ham radio.
Say see you to the phone call and oh yeah to fast and easy online ordering. Get a free medium pizza with your first online order. Now that's an idea.
Hungry? Howie's! For over 30 years, we've been the leading supplier of robots, CNCs, and factory automation to American manufacturing. We help companies reach production goals locally and globally with bringing manufacturing back to North America. Our innovative technologies provide world-class quality and efficiency. We train, educate, and develop highly skilled workers, harnessing the power of man and machine together. We are the future of manufacturing. We are FANUC America.
We want you.
We are Lawrence Technological University, and we don't want just anyone.
We want the brainiacs, visionaries, geniuses, and game changers. We want the students who will change the world through technology, science, business, and design.
So if you're ready to explore your possibilities,
we want you at LTU.
Lawrence Tech, Possible is everything.
Thanks for hanging with us here on RoboZone. Governor Rick Snyder recently commented on the importance of robotics in his State of the State address and the significance of investing in STEM and robotics programs. Let's check it out.
One thing in particular I'm proud of that is not just about what we're doing today, but how we're preparing for the future, is FIRST Robotics, a tremendous program we've been supporting. If you look at kids that do FIRST Robotics, the likelihood they'll go into engineering or the skilled trades goes up dramatically. And I want to recognize a student named Harrison Ford, not the actor, the student Harrison Ford. And the reason I want to mention Harrison in particular is he's a junior now at Kettering in their co-op program. He's doing tremendously well. But he was on a FIRST Robotics team, and it meant so much to him. He's now a mentor for another FIRST Robotics team in Flint, the Flint Fire. So this is a case of someone having success giving back. So let's give a big shout out up in the balcony for both Dr. Robert McMahon, the president of Kettering, and Harrison Ford, a student at Kettering. Thank you so much. Keep building those robots.
There you have it. Robotics is not only one of the fastest growing sports, but also key in the growth of many industries in Michigan and the U.S. This is an investment we must make, an investment in the future of the great state of Michigan and its people. All right, let's get to a different kind of politics. Who's #1 in the state heading into the season? Rankings time. Back to the desk with Jim and Stephanie.
Time to have some fun now. Let's take a look at our preseason rankings for the 2015 robotics season here in Michigan. That's right, we're ranking the teams. This is a first. We're ranking the top 5 teams, Jim. I'm sure this wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't, Stephanie. The 2015 game, Recycle Rush, is a pretty big departure from the games of the recent past. The bar just keeps going up, and so does the team count. 347 teams will be competing in Michigan in 2015. We have a lot of rising stars, and there'll be more contenders than ever this year. 20 years of FRC history have shown us that teams who build great robots will tend to do so again. So if you ask me to pick a preseason top 5 for 2015, these are my selections. Number 5, Grand Blanc's Engine Nerds. The Nerds came out on fire during their rookie 2008 campaign, and they have been favorites ever since. They were the #1 ranked team going into the 2014 FRC Michigan State Championship, and I predict that they will have another great robot again this season. Number 4, from the west side town of Fremont, Michigan, NC Gears is always one of the teams to beat. They defeated the #1 alliance in the Archimedes division last year with very clever strategy. I think they will be hovering around the top again this year. The #1 seed at the state championship last year and the 2nd seed in the Curry division at the World Championship, the Fighting Pie from Armada keep getting stronger, and I expect to see great things again in 2015. Number 2, and just barely out of the top spot, the Los Gorillas. A 2-time world champion and defending champions, this International Academy team from Bloomfield Hills always builds an amazingly effective machine. And our #1 pick is the Hot team from Huron Valley. A 3-time world champion and Hall of Fame member, Hot is one of the top 3 winningest teams on Earth. The Hot team has finished in either 1st or 2nd place at all 6 prior Michigan State championships. Always a powerhouse, the heroes of tomorrow are my preseason top pick for 2015. There are lots of other great teams. The field is deep. Team 27, Team 33, Team 2054, and many, many more. The great thing about FRC in Michigan is we have so many outstanding teams here. Recycle Rush will truly be anyone's game to win. We are going to find out over the course of the next 8 weeks.
And that is our predictions for the 2015 season. Don't forget to connect with us on social media. Our Twitter and Instagram handle is @RoboZone Show. On Facebook, search RoboZone and give it a like. Jim already talked about one of the best teams in the state, the Hot team from Huron Valley. Kiara Lancaster caught up with them to find out what makes them tick.
One of the teams to look out for in competitions this year is the Hot team from Huron Valley. This Hall of Fame team is recognized as one of the best in the world. Altogether, they have won 3 state championships and 3 world championships. Coach Adam Freeman has been with the team since 2005, and he thinks the key to their success is all in the details.
I think attention to detail and build quality. We make a lot of parts, a lot of little tiny things that we think try and push the envelope for making it either more robust or a higher quality. And I think that shows in the robustness of the machines and the performance overall.
I dropped in on the hot team during one of their practices to see how they are preparing for competition. What are you doing here today?
We are having our drive practice, drive tryouts, and so we're trying out to see who's going to be driver for our team this year and who's going to be the operator.
We've got our practice spot out there. They're running through just some drills, trying to see who can drive, who can't drive, and then figure out what we can do for our strategy going forward with the robot.
So this is the robot that the hot team is going to be using for competition. But just like all the other teams in the FRC, they were due Tuesday the 17th at midnight, and the hot team got it done with 2 minutes to spare. But the FRC kind of uses a trust system with the teams. So once that midnight due date is done, they have to put it in a plastic wrap to ensure that the teams can no longer work on it. So it looks like we won't be able to see their actual robot in motion until the start of district competitions. But the practice robot has some of the same functions.
As you can see with that contraption behind us, there's a bunch of totes lined up behind the wall where all the drivers drive the robot. And I'll take those totes over there and I'll slide them in through the tote chute, and we'll slowly stack them into the robot.
The hot team stands for Heroes of Tomorrow, and that is exactly what they are. Not only are they building up future engineer and business professionals, but they have played a major part in helping FIRST get into their communities. To honor their efforts, the hot team was inducted into the FIRST Hall of Fame and given the Chairman's Award.
I think the Chairman's Award is the biggest thing to be proud of, showing that we're a role model team for FIRST. And being an inspiration for other teams.
Hall of Fame isn't how many wins you have or how good a competition season you are. It's about how you display FIRST in the community. We do a lot. We did the stage art trial. We always try and help out LEGO leagues, mentor the FTC team, just bringing FIRST into the community.
With philanthropy work and world championship titles under their belt, it seems the hot team is on fire and can do no wrong. Once again with RoboZone, I'm Kiera Lancaster.
That's all the time we have for this week. Thanks again for tuning into our first episode of RoboZone. We're excited to be with you for the next 7 weeks, breaking down what's going on all over Michigan in the world of robotics. Of course, the competition is now underway. We'll have comprehensive highlights from the first 3 events from Standish, Southfield, and Howell. We're fired up. Brand new episodes of RoboZone airs every Sunday at noon on 2 networks throughout the great state of Michigan, and they both air at noon. CW50 Detroit and WOTV in West Michigan. You can also follow everything RoboZone by heading to statechampsnetwork.com. See you right here next week. RoboZone is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. Toyota, let's go places. Fanuc, innovative automotive solutions. Hungry Howie's, your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. And Hino Trucks, the fastest growing premier medium duty nameplate in the United States.